Hey there YouTubers, thanks for tuning back in. This is Dan Strong with Excel VBA is Fun. Today we're going to use a combination of a combo box on your worksheet in correspondence kind of with a spin button, where whenever you click up or down on the spin button, it'll go to the next or the previous entry in your combo box. So that's an interesting take on things, isn't it? I think so. Actually, I got this idea from somebody who was chatting with me, and I can't type while I'm talking apparently, so I'm gonna shut up just for a second. Somebody was commenting, and so what I did there is I added a couple, and you can drag that down and it'll automatically carry on in your auto list settings. So I'm gonna name this list month list, and I'm going to go to the developer tab. I'm going to insert an ActiveX combo box right here, like so. And I don't need to worry about renaming that just yet. Also want to insert a spin button. Here we are. Put it right next to it. Ooh, a little too big. I have got everything zoomed in. You can do that by holding the control button and zooming with your scroll wheel on your mouse. So we've got our combo box named Combobox 1 and spin button 1. So, and again, to rename them, you could click here on the format, or maybe, let's see, right click and go to properties, and you can change the name from there. I'm not going to worry about that right now. What I want to do is right click and go to view code on the spin button. I take that back. Let's fill this with the range called mon list. So that would be the list fill range is going to be mon list. That should do it right there. And I'll have to take it out of design mode to test that. So we have our months there. And design mode again. Looks like we need to make that a little larger since we're zoomed in so much. So anyway, January through June, you can click here and start typing J-U-N. Okay, so you guys know about a combo box. Now with our spin button, which does not do anything currently, we're going to design mode. You can double click to we don't want to do the spin button 1 change event. We want to do the spin button 1 spin up and spin down events. Forget the change. So whenever we click the down button on your spin, here's what we want it to do. Basically, whatever the index number of the 1 through not 1 through 12, it's actually 0 through 11, because the very first index on these suckers is 0 for whatever reason. So 0 through the 11, which is actually December. That being said, we want to increase that index number by 1, and that will change the one that it is. So whenever you do a spin up, you want to increase that. So we're going to say me dot combobox1 dot list index equals me dot combobox1 dot list index plus 1. So whatever it currently is, we want it to now be whatever it is plus 1. That's what it will equal. And let's see how that works. Let's copy and paste that over here. And of course, when we're spinning down, it's going to be minus 1. So a few subtleties here. Well, before I keep rambling, let's just test it. Oh! Let's click down again. April, March, February, January. Now, it might error out, or it might be okay. Yeah, it's going to start erroring out because there's no such thing as like -2. So, -1 is blank. 0 is, of course, the very first entry. So what we want to do is put you can either put on error resume next, where it'll just kind of ignore whatever in the heck you do. Or if you want to be more specific, you could say if me.combobox1.listindex equals -1, then exit sub. So don't even continue with your code. Yeah, that ought to do it. So let's see. If it's -1, then exit sub, and it did. So that way you can click down button all you want, and the up button will still work. Now you might want to do the same thing kind of for your up button. Let's debug this one. This might be fun. Now, you're not always going to have 12 different entries or a list index of 11, so you might want to make this dynamic. You could use the me.combobox1.list count, because that tells you how many things there are. So how about that? If me.combobox1.list count or how about if the list index equals me.combobox1.list count, and it might have to be minus or plus 1, then exit sub. Let's try that. See what happens. Let's hover over and see what it is. The list index is 11 currently, whenever you're on December, and the list count is 12. So there's 12 entries, 0 through 11. So how about that? If the list index equals the list count minus 1, which what do you know? 12 minus 1 is 11. Then exit sub. So no matter how large this list becomes, it will always stop you, and it won't error out whenever you get to the top or the bottom of the list. Now, if you don't want that blank to show up because, hey, blank isn't part of my list, January is the bottommost thing. So you want to take -1 out of the loop, then why, of course, we would just put on the spin down event. You know, if the list index gets to being 0 instead of -1, which is blank, then exit the sub. So don't go down any further. Don't run this -1 thing. So let's try that. Okay, so I'm clicking down and it stopped at January. Won't let me go any lower to that -1. And then if I go up, of course, it's saying, well, you know, that's the list index is at 11 and the list count -1 is 11, so we can't let you go any further. We're going to exit the sub. So that's pretty cool. That's how that works, guys. Hey, feel free to leave your comments down here below this video and let me know if you have any questions about that, because I'll be happy to answer them in a timely manner as soon as I can. Thank you very much for watching. God bless.